So Nick and I just finished A Way Out. A Way Out is a 2018 co-op game by Hazelight Studios, directed by Joseph Fares. And if you don't know what A Way Out is, it's basically a co-op, story-driven game where you play as two inmates named Vincent and Leo.
It is a co-op game. It was tailor-made to be played with a friend, and that's how we did it. We did it couch co-op style. You can also play it online, and it's pretty interesting because only one person actually needs the game. You can just send an invite to your friend who's at their house, and you guys can play the full game together. So that's a really neat addition that this game has that a lot of games just don't do.
And you both get the trophies too, which is kind of cool. A lot of the gameplay in A Way Out isn't anything complex, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because I don't think it's trying to make a game that's like super fun to play that you want to replay over and over again.
It's very varied, but it doesn't do anything exceptionally well. There's a lot of moments where maybe you'll be doing like a third-person shooting moment and it's serviceable, but it's not great. Or you'll be doing some beat-em-up kind of moments and they're just kind of like quick time events. So you're going to be doing a lot of different things throughout your time, but it's not all that great at any one thing that it sets out to do.
So basically what they tried to do with the gameplay is they tried to have you always doing something different. So there's one part where one of you needs to get into a laundry basket and the other needs to throw sheets on top of the other character, wheel them back, past some guards, and then the other guy has to create a rope made out of sheets or some shit like that to get up to a ventilation shaft so they can escape the prison later. And then, you know, there might be another part where you're in a cell together, where one person has to kind of look out, make sure there's no guards coming, while the other person has to chip away at their toilet so they can leave the cell.
The style in A Way Out is really awesome. The visual fidelity of the game, it's not as good as other AAA games, but obviously this isn't a AAA game per se. It is a smaller studio doing it. I just think that the style of the game is a lot more interesting than Hazelight's other game, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. It has a good style and it sticks to that style consistently throughout the entire game.
The strength in A Way Out more so lies in the narrative components. Basically, they're both in prison for different reasons, but they want to get out for the same reason, basically. There's a guy that did them wrong, and they want to get out, kill him, and get back to their families. I do think the story is fun. I don't think it's anything amazing. It's been done before. I haven't seen The Shawshank Redemption. I know that's really bad and everything, but I've heard a lot of people say it's a lot like that movie. You know, we've seen Prison Break movies before. I'm sure this one is quite a bit like all those movies. So it's not really doing anything original.
But a lot of the beats just aren't really that believable at times. Vincent and Leo are doing things that they shouldn't be able to physically do, and a lot of different things that just kind of don't make sense character motivation wise. So it can be kind of hard to get a nail down and say that it's an amazing story. There are multiple endings to the game, two in particular. We got one ending that we weren't really that happy with, but we watched the other ending online and we liked that one a lot more. So there is multiple endings, so there is a little bit of replay value. And there's also a little bit more replay value if you choose to tackle certain situations differently. The choices are there for you to be able to make with your friend.
Admittedly, a big part of the reason why this game was fun was because I was playing it with my friend.
There's a moment in particular where you're stealthing through these woods and you have to sneakily kill guards. And in any other game, it would typically be the thing where it's like, all right, you pick one person and I'll take out the other one. But in this, you actually had to coordinate with your friend to be able to take down the guards effectively. So I thought there was a lot of really cool moments in the game that really took advantage of it being a co-op experience.
I'm not entirely sure how enjoyable it would have been if I wasn't playing it with a friend, because you can pretty much make anything fun with a friend. But it is fun just to, go to like a farmhouse, for instance, look for some clothes, play a banjo, sit down in their chair, try on different hats. It's just like stupid shit like that like serves like no gameplay purpose, but it's just fun.
There's a lot of technical issues in A Way Out, a lot of bugs, and yes. We had this one really bad visual glitch towards the end. I won't spoil any of the story significance, but basically it's almost like the cameras stopped working and a bunch of actions that we were supposed to be seeing were happening off screen effectively. So that wasn't too great, and there's a lot of like texture pop-ins, texture upgrading, and stuff like that. So it's not a a technically perfect game.
So there was some screen tearing, a little bit of frame rate drops here and there. Pretty sure there was a glitch, but I don't remember what happened, so don't worry about it. It's definitely not the worst game I played in recent years. If you have friends, you're gonna like this game. If you don't have friends, you can't play this game, so you're not gonna like it so much. If I had to give an overall impression of A Way Out, it would be that the game is a lot of fun, but not necessarily for the overall gameplay experience. It's more like the moment-to-moment things that are happening. You know, yeah, it's okay. You know, I wouldn't... The only other reason I would think to play this again is to kind of experience the other decisions you can make, which would be kind of fun, but overall it's not a game that's really meant to be replayed. And I was watching, you know, a talk with Joseph Fares and Jeff Keighley recently, and Joseph went on this big rant about how it doesn't matter how long a game is as long as you enjoy it. And, you know, there's points towards both sides of that argument, but I do understand what he's saying. So let's say we spent 6 hours with this game, I spent $15 on it, Nick spent $15 on it, and we had a pretty good time with it. It was a lot of fun. So maybe that's all that really needs to be said. You know, maybe the story isn't perfect. There's parts of it that don't really make sense or seem very unrealistic. Technical issues aren't great. Gameplay is nothing special. But it was a very memorable experience. It does leave an impression on you, whether that's kind of mediocre to good. I think the game will leave an impression on you. So yeah, A Way Out, Joseph Fares, he wanted to win Best Game Direction at the Game Awards, but he didn't because he was interrupted by an ad. People don't take care of their games.
Do it again.
Look at this. Some dog chewed on this. And Nick wasn't thinking and he bought it. So a good collection got mired by someone's thoughtlessness.